places across the United States in recent months.
Tear gas in Old Irving Park.
Wait, you guys came to the school to do this? Do you have a warrant?
What we're seeing is the result of a key campaign promise from Donald Trump.
On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, is the main agency implementing his plan to deport millions of undocumented immigrants. But other departments are also involved, including Border Patrol. These agents are usually stationed along America's land borders, but they're increasingly being seen making arrests in US cities.
This is a whole of government effort. We have never seen anything like this in the United States of America. This is an unprecedented effort to reduce the immigrant population in the country.
The Trump administration has reportedly set ICE a goal of 3,000 arrests a day. They're still some way off that. The agency's average monthly arrests under President Trump are about 3 times as high as under President Biden over the same period last year. Trump says anyone who has entered the country illegally is a potential target. Former ICE officials, like John Sandweg, who headed the agency under Barack Obama, say previous administrations prioritized arresting those with a criminal record.
It'd be a much more targeted surgical strike, not nearly as flashy, much lower profile, and far less controversial. Of course, what's happened here, though, is the administration didn't like that approach. And the reason they didn't like that approach is it doesn't result in large numbers of arrests. What this has resulted in is a shift in tactics away from these more targeted approaches, but just mass arrests of people.
BBC Verify has gathered more than 70 videos shared on social media of the current crackdown across several cities since June. And we found 3 tactics being widely used under Trump this term. Agents concealing their identities.
What law enforcement agency are you with?
People being arrested outside immigration courts and other previously protected places, and the use of weapons normally associated with controlling riots, like tear gas on civilians. The most widespread tactic we've seen is officers hiding their faces. In more than 80% of the videos we analysed, some of the officers involved are wearing face coverings. In 7 videos, some agents are seen in plain clothing, with no clear law enforcement ID on display. They also often use unmarked vehicles. Immigration agents have operated undercover in the past, but the widespread use of face coverings is new, according to Deborah Flyshaker, who was the acting chief of staff at ICE under President Biden.
Masking is not something I've ever seen done before. These are people we trust to carry guns on behalf of the federal government. By being masked and by failing to identify yourself, I think that it is making the situation more dangerous and putting people at risk.
The Trump administration says it's necessary for the protection of the agents. They report officers and their families are being threatened online and that they are facing a more than 1,000% increase in assaults, although we can't independently verify this figure.
I'm going to answer the mask question. Oh, I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is.
The second tactical shift is where the arrests are taking place. Before Trump entered office at the start of this year, certain locations were typically out of bounds for immigration enforcement. But now we're seeing federal agents in hospitals. And they patrol immigration courthouses.
When people are coming to court, it's because they want to be following the process and trying to gain lawful status in the United States. It's also because if they don't come to court, they can be ordered removed in their absence. So it's a catch-22.
We've verified several videos of arrests taking place at 26 Federal Plaza in New York. The immigration courthouse here has become the epicenter of the crackdown in the city. This incident there went viral. A woman whose husband had just been detained confronts an agent and is thrown to the ground. The officer was temporarily suspended as a result. The third tactic we've analysed is the use of tear gas and other chemical irritants by officers. We verified footage of them being used in 8 different incidents. This is a raid in Los Angeles, targeting suspected illegal immigrants trying to pick up construction jobs. One agent points pepper spray at someone filming. Another deploys what appears to be a tear gas canister. Crackdown, including in these incidents, which happened in Chicago in October. Earlier in the month, a judge in the city told agents to stop using such weapons on protesters, pose no immediate threat, and has raised concerns that they still appear to be doing so. Dr. Rahini Ha has studied the dangers of deploying tear gas in civilian settings.
It's an indiscriminate weapon. And so you can't really target that towards an individual that's posing threat or is causing harm. It will hit everybody in the area. It appears that they're using it excessively and unnecessarily and quite disproportionately to what the threat is that's being posed.
The Department of Homeland Security says far-left protesters have interrupted their work, and a published video showing people throwing objects towards agents.
Congress basically handed ICE a blank check. Anything they want to do now, they can afford to do. I think that what we've seen largely up to this point has been the opening act, and we're about to get into the meat of the performance.
Immigration raids and the protests against them show no signs of slowing. Recruitment drives to further bolster ICE's ranks are well underway. That's part of a $75 billion package approved for the agency over the next 4 years. This will make it the highest funded law enforcement body in the US by far.